trying to go
It's a new Silver
now.
Scrapes. All right, it's time to head into game here, and hopefully I don't get cut off this time with Kalaris, and let's go, Hotjukes!
Let's go! Here we go.
Jeez, that was loud.
We are headed into Arrogale. What can I say? I have one volume, and it's set to max.
It's set to American.
May I get it max?
There you go. Oh, yeah, okay.
Oh, yes.
No, he's French, he's quiet.
Oh, le bison. Oh, le petit bison. Le bison. That's right.
You know, I'm sad, man. My premium limited edition intro was squandered on the regame.
It really was.
I'm
It was
so
so
sorry.
good. It was so good. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe it was too good.
Yeah, maybe.
They said, you know what? We just have to settle for the let's go.
I guess. All right, well.
Is what it is.
Let's go. There you go.
Let's go indeed. Look at this. Here we go. First Arrogale here of the day. Northern play path this time. Much more favorable for a lot of these teams.
Yes, so they're going to be much happier with what they're seeing so far, and maybe we see slight adjustments here and there. But one thing's for sure, if you're going north of the river, you're going to have a much easier time of getting to where you want to go. You see Vampire drop on out here, heading towards that kind of, well, south of South George area to get things started. And likewise, where is, I want to see where is 628, because their reach down towards Primorsk is a little longer. They're going to drop west coast and maybe drive down. But looking at that circle, that's a long drive to then get to the circle. They'll probably end up doing it, though.
Yep, they're going to have to indeed. Probably we'll see them kind of take that southern route all the way down and then rotate possibly up the edge coastline. Oh, what do you see?
A knock already on Stalwart and a complete finish. We're looking at the map, but this is an important fight. Meanwhile, there's another fight going on with GK and D plus Kia.
Double fight. Here we go. GK Esports looking to get it done right here next to Rozhawk. And this compound, I assume both of these teams are going for that vehicle that is in that garage, most likely. And they are going to have to battle it out because of that. A much more favorable start for Infinity IQ.
I mean, considering Rozhawk's just so close and the split that S2G was taking in All-Stars is completely open, I'm surprised that this is going down the way it is. I mean, if you want to wrestle for what is effectively garden location, cool, you can, but I don't think it holds as much value as you may think. Or they may think.
Yes, indeed. Let's see how he's going to start this off. He's got that over-under shotgun. He has to hit it. 2 bullets. He's got his teammate right next to him. Oh, he's actually got 3, so they're going to have an advantage. Oh, a stun grenade blinds them both, and they're going to have to do some shots, completely blind the situation. You can even see Osel shooting his own teammate, Satan, up close with the S12K. Has to hit the shot, but so much hesitancy. Look how much time these players are taking to reset over and over.
Ragnar holding the angle here. A big jump shot coming in as well as Haith is going to try and get this going alongside the S12K. 3 down. Satan has to make a miracle play happen here. They know where he is. They're going to prioritize him instead of going for those flushes and trying to pump him out with the pumpy. As Satan goes for a jump shot against it, but I don't think it's going to work on out. There's no way he wins this, surely.
He hit him too, but he's down to 1 HP. Gets it done after all. Gonna go ahead and go for that pump shotgun. Can Satan pull off another miracle play for the first time here in this tournament? He's gonna get a double most likely.
He's low.
1 more shot. Missed it again. How is he missing all these shots? Oh, that had to hurt.
That did. There was very little opportunity there for them to salvage that, and they will be going down. 7 points from the previous game. Nothing for this one. Stalwart is bailing as they got caught very early. Here it was a run over here as Infinity IQ were able to finish off top. That's got to hurt.
Hey, Infinity IQ getting a little bit of revenge, right? We saw a run over happen to them, but now they're the ones doing the run over, so that's going to be not the best start for Stalwart Esports, especially considering they're coming off of a chicken dinner. But, you know, we have a nice northern circle, very, very typical. Teams are taking a little bit of time to get looted up here.
Yeah, and speaking of getting looted up, this is actually Stalwart looking for somewhere that they could potentially call home in this circle. They dropped, they knew that they had someone be run over, and the trash loot that they had around or west of that shelter area was not enough. Now they're rotating south away from the circle, knowing that farms taken, Milta's taken, any trash loot would be kind of not very wise. They're coming down here to Novo for a better loot secure. There is a world where they could take a boat from here and enter far north, but that's a quite ridiculous call. If they did it, it would be insane. they might just probably drive back up.
Oh, I want to live in that dimension, though.
Yeah,
I'll tell you that right now, where that happens.
It's next level plays, but I don't think they're going to do it. I've seen it before, though.
The thickest of botates.
Yeah,
And this,
yeah.
if honestly, if it's going to happen, this is the zone for it to happen on. Because to be honest with you, I mean, yeah, they are having to go all the way down to Novo to loot up.
Yeah.
And it's going to be difficult to push up the circle. But we'll see how fast they're able to get that loot and go. Only with 3 players on the board. First game in the books. First day is so important in this tournament because we've seen it happen. We saw it just there in the All-Star stage. Towards the last day, the last game, there's so many teams that have nothing to lose. So you do not want to put yourself in a situation where you're needing points in the last game.
No, absolutely not. I mean, we saw as close as, Aegon I8, for example, in the All-Stars. You, towards the later stages of it, got a 32-point game and still weren't able to get here, right? So you want to really hit the floor running for this. As with a circle like this as well, with the rotations we were talking about earlier, whilst we're seeing all these teams jostle for position, the Rejects and Tiamba are also not exactly afraid of doing some kind of bridge camp, especially on a circle like this, against a team that would normally drop down the military or something like that, with DRS eventually moving down here. So they'd be anticipating that team coming over, not necessarily a stalwart.
I wouldn't be surprised if we do see that bridge camp. But man, you just, those are another dagger to the heart hearing that, because just seeing those RI8 players after a 30-point chicken dinner.
32.
Yeah, 32 points. Just with their hands on their head saying, why didn't we just start playing like this earlier? Ugh.
Oh, sorry, you're on about R8, 30 points in the last game. Yes. Sorry, I'm thinking about so many big games, which were so impactful, so close, but not getting them on. Sorry, I apologize.
Yeah, it was absolute insanity here. But you know what? We're here in the main stage. A lot of teams looking to pick up a big chunk of all that cheddar, that big prize pool that we have here. $2 million at stake, literally doubled it here for this tournament. We can still get Fireflux, looking to possibly go for some vehicles, looking to use that 4-car strat. Everybody just taking it kind of easy right now, just trying to get looted up, getting ready for the next circle.
Yeah, you can play this circle slow because of the differences that exist in the circle, right? You can eventually have to go all the way up Stalber, try and play the side of Stalber Mountains. You have to sometimes play Yaz Fields here. So I don't think there's any hurry for a lot of these teams to try and scramble for a center position, because center could quite easily not have any value whatsoever in 2 circles' time. Like, you go and pitch up at Alamo, south of Yaz Fields, right? And then all of a sudden the circle shifts away from you. What are you supposed to do?
Yep, and who knows? We may even see a Stalper finish, maybe even a Kameshki.
Maybe. Well, steady on.
That would
Let's
be
not get too
interesting.
wild.
Yeah, let's not get too crazy here. Let's take a look here at the bottom. We can see GK Esports completely focused right now, laser focused after their rough start in Sandhawk.
Yes.
So now they
to
have
a great start.
Yeah, 4 eliminations on a D+ Kia, and it was a very well fought. I love seeing battles at this stage because they're so patient. Even though they have a couple players knocked, you don't see any kind of crazy sends. No, they'll reset 3, 4, 5, 6 times if they have to.
And we're going to see a difference in the next game, right? I doubt we're going to see that compound fight again from D+ Kia going up against GK and the next Erangel. And dead center. Wow. Okay, so a lot of priority compounds. Where are we going? I'm thinking to myself, southwest of Yasnaya Polyana. Already we're seeing Fireflux there. They're going to be taking up some of those locations. GK's in the area as well. All of this is about to get very hectic because it's quite flat terrain.
Oh, yes, it is. Tianba trying to get a rotation on, but Twisted Minds is waiting for them. They were right next to him, and you can see as Dami does go down, Tianba do have 1 knocked in the process. Crypto, monster player. Trying to get some sight lines here as Ren's backing it up, looking to rotate away from this.
Currently sat over at Alamo's Twisted Minds as Easy and Crypto going to lock this down, looking each and every way. Some big names on Twisted Minds, big expectations from the fans to see the guys like Crypto be able to perform here on the international stage. Tiamba just finds themselves in this position where they're just covering themselves with smokes for the moment. They do know that Alamo was taken thanks to the shots that they could hear over there.
They did get an elimination onto Twisted Minds, so they are big chilling right now. Getting a nice little reset for themselves. Taking a look at Reject Tokyo. We saw them a little bit earlier, but now we got eyes on to 628. Oh, there they are now. They were the first team to really get eliminated in that Sandhawk match. Just got picked apart little by little, so they really need a good bounce-back game here.
Yeah. and just play your next game a little bit more slow, get some kind of change your mental state about it. And if you're playing slow, surviving into some of the later stages of the game, you can be okay indeed.
As we take a look for those of you guys looking at the map stream, we're starting to see Stalwart push from the south side, but there is a battle going on between Infinity IQ and Tiamba, battling it out here at the Blues, right south of Yasnaya. Ren, gonna go ahead and push on in, and I think this battle might be done and dusted. They did end up picking up a couple, and actually another defeat right there. Yeah, that was from Infinity IQ, trying to do some split looting.
He was running about with the Scar. He has a DBS in hand as well here, as Infinity IQ is still in some of these craters that were created down in the south of the fields. So this is just close to Alamo, but again, Crypto has now moved up. You can see him on the high ground in the distance, doing some scouting, because with this kind of circle, it's unlikely usually that you would be able to stay there forever. There is a chance, of course, you know, but just going up to that slight high ground, getting as much information as possible across this field is going to be absolutely necessary.
100%. Yeah, that little hill right next to Alamo.
Yeah.
Pretty good spot. And let's see exactly where the zone's going to go, though. I wouldn't be surprised if it is a Yasnaya field zone. Those are a dime a dozen. And
scary.
That'll definitely make things interesting. We may see some hay bale battles.
Yep.
As we see Stalwart all the way at the south side. They did come all the way from Crate, so they do get up here safely. But in order to get into a good position... Oh, actually, this zone is actually a pretty favorable one for them.
Okay, so what am I seeing? Already, Heaven is still in play, right? So you've got Rosemary and Potato and the guys over there. They've got themselves technically a great spot to try and stage this from. It really depends on which side of the road it ends up going, right? If it does go east, they are absolutely sitting pretty. Very, very happy indeed. Meanwhile, you're seeing STE here trying to fight off against Rejects. Rejects needs to bail on out. And thankfully, no casualties just yet.
628 holding the edge of the circle now, just as we see the scramble to try to get into the center of the zone. Infinity IQ making some shots onto Solke. Are they able to bust out the buggy? No, instead they get ran over. Fireflux looking to do possibly even another run over from Solke. He jumps out but gets popped at the same time.
Trying his best to deal with this here, but it is difficult when you rock up on a location like this. Here comes Lutz once again. He's going for another one. Actually gets a full finish off, and he's able to finish it all off. Amazing to be able to get that kind of recovery, but they need to recover even a little bit more.
What a play there for Fireflux, but the battle has not stopped. Here comes Carrillo from Alpha 7 Esports, looking to apply some pressure onto GK as it's just Ragnar left. You can see his Falcon there just saying, buddy, we're in trouble.
Yeah, and Fireflux was going to be eliminated in the distance as well. Twisted Minds were able to finish them off. Recovering where they were was very difficult. Vampire also taking a fight here with 628 in the distance. There's fights going on everywhere, not only on the edge of the circle, but there was teams scrambling to try and send through the middle to get themselves a good spot.
Ragnar with a huge nade onto Alpha 7 is able to pick up another elimination. So Alpha 7, even though it's just one player, making mistakes, and they lose 2 in the process.
Definitely. Ragnar just going to pop some stims to get going. Carrillo still alive. Sees 628 in the distance here, trying to rotate on around him. But another nade, not able to get too much done. Thank anything for the back.
You know exactly where he is, and unfortunately, they're not able to thread the needle and get any utility in there. So Ragnar is going to hold that down. I'm surprised to see so much hesitancy from Alpha 7. I don't think they want to walk outside right now. I think they feel like they're surrounded. But, man, losing 2 players like that is going to hurt. Let's see what TQ is going to do here from Team Falcons. Looking for some sight lines. He did spot something, so he's going to throw a pretty blind nade here. I think he figures that they could be behind the rock. But now after seeing that vehicle, he knows exactly where to throw it. Is it going to hit? Ooh, just a little off the mark.
Smoke's going to be a dead giveaway as well. That's why they throw them ahead and then run behind them and trying to bail from all of this. Goes for a spray, but realizes that they're just gone and will have to try and relocate himself.
That was really close there for Stalwart. Very unfortunate for them to be able to get away from that alive without losing another member. As
where are we
of
going?
course, they did lose top early. Yeah, where are we going indeed? Where's that zone going? Nice hard shift again. So this zone is just hugging the edges every single time.
Ping-ponging around. That brings Heaven out of the equation, actually, here. So Alter Ego are going to have to leave from there. And actually, I mean, for the rest of the lobby, this is absolutely great. Because if you have to deal with a team in Heaven, it acts like an absolute watchtower across the rest of the area. So there's going to be some teams wiping the sweat off their brow.
Oh, I kind of wanted to see some vehicles just YOLO send it up, see some jump out crazy plays there. But yeah, we're not going to see that.
Land on the roof.
Yeah, that we're not
Fun
going to
times.
see that now. But for now, we're going to see some teams looking for all the best spots here in this next zone. Only a couple of buildings left. A lot of hills areas here. Let's see that nade one more time from Ragnar.
Big.
Oh my
Oh.
gosh.
Very
And
well done.
instant finish with the Bison.
Lippy Bison. Lovely.
628. Oh, that's another player from Alpha 7, so it's just Carrillo up left. And is he going to be able to hit that nade? Oh, Zing knocking it onto him. And that is Alpha 7 eliminated in 12th place.
Eliminated, but I'm sort of surprised 628 stuck around on this west side as long as they have done. I saw them in their vehicles. I thought they were going to rotate, but now they've put themselves in a bit of a precarious spot where they're going to have to move into a circle like this. I thought they were going to get ahead of it. But anyway, Gladiators here up on the north side. Box is just taking pot shots at them whenever they can. Whenever they come across this hill, they have to go past them. So somehow they have to figure out and solve the puzzle that Box is presenting them.
And we'll see if that puzzle is going to be complete or not. You can see McHugh trying to figure out the puzzle of how to get out of here alive, and he does find the right piece. Gets in the vehicle with Kitsune. Meanwhile, 628 full sending it on a DRS. Maybe for some reason they thought that this was open. It is closed for business. The rest of 628 have no choice, I think, but to send it in that location. But instead, gonna just take this little hillside. They have to edge in some way. Oh, this is a blind rotation. It is not looking good for 628.
The lateness of this makes it very, very difficult, although Killer is all on his lonesome, just ahead of the pack here. So maybe they weren't really expecting that. Spray's going to come in, tries to get in. They might have even got a wheel on that, but likewise, they're going to return fire, take him out. The rest of DRS not here to be able to support it.
Kind of a misplay there from Killer. Do you think he was just kind of holding that position, waiting for his team to get there?
Trying to, as an anchor point here and not expecting 628 to really move in. If he's got an anchor position there and the rest of them rendezvous faster, it's a great spot. But, just a little bit too slow on the uptake.
Yeah, a little bit of mistiming. It's crazy how much that could cost you. For all we know,
For sure.
that could have costed a few $100,000. Crazy to think about in the future. But you know what? That's what it comes down to. Let's take a look here at Reject Tokyo. Had a tough start, but now they have 4 up.
Yeah.
Good control. They have a nice spot. They do have full sight lines onto Vampire, trying to control this edge of the zone on the west side. Meanwhile, Falcons battling it out with Gladiators. Here comes TQ with a nice nade. Is it well placed? Oh, perfectly between them. Pieces them up a little bit. Doesn't get the knock, though. Here comes another, though.
Do we have a follow-up? That's the question, yeah, because if that doesn't get anything as a conversion, it was a nice nade, but the guys are probably going to try and heal up. We've got ourselves a Falcon. In terms of their triangle position, they were looking for off angles against Gladiators where they were sending it to. So maybe they can completely dismantle them. They're driving in, actually.
Yeah, I think if they realize that it's only 2 players, especially with this circle, I think they really want to control this southern side of the zone. So if you're Team Falcons, I think right now you apply the pressure, turn up the heat, and take them out. Because if you play this way too passive, you're going to let them buy way too much time.
Big kind of blind sprays into smokes here to try and just get a tag wherever they can. And already hit, so it has to go prone there for a second.
Yeah, I don't like this. I'm glad TQ backed off because he needs the rest of his team with him. If he gets knocked, he's going to get thirsted, and that would be a huge mistake for the Falcons. He has a beautiful angle, but he needs his squad. I wonder what they are doing. Meanwhile, you got Axer way far in the back, still in the zone. Maybe possibly they're trying to defend against a team rotating on the side.
Yeah, well, thankfully for them, they don't have to move too much just yet. So they can still prolong this out for a little bit, take it slow against them. Mekuga will go down. Likewise, Kitsune's gone as well here. Falcons cleanups Gladiators. And meanwhile, on the other side, Rejects trying to dislodge the Vampire problem.
Very fortunate for Team Falcons to get that finish. And not to mention Kitsune running out of 5.56 right there at the end. That is going to bite them. Meanwhile, we're going to see Vampire give up their compound and start heading towards the center of the zone. They do notice that they're going to have to make some shots out of this vehicle because you can see Stone popping out now. This is a really tough angle. This is still outside of the circle, but I think they just wanted to avoid the vehicle explosion.
Yeah, if this doesn't stalemate out, a Vampire might get really desperate and try and send it over the road, which, by the way, they don't really have much information about, and then run straight into the jaws of Falcon. So you've got a choice. You can either try and win this gunfight quickly and then move in up against it and then try and take that lip underneath DRS, or big send without much info.
Maybe with some buggies, too. Clear out the smokes. You got the buggy, you got the vehicle power. Meanwhile, though, Jing Does clutch it up with a DBS. Ravenclaw is knocked. They want to be able to support their player. They don't want to lose anybody right now. I'm surprised we're not seeing another vehicle drive up. Maybe they're just thinking it's too risky with that DBS.
Oh, there was a nade there, and it will shut him down. So they take the calculated play on this one. Stay on this side of the road, get rid of the two that were there, and they should be able to recover as a 4-man. But again, they're edge-heavy here, so they've still got a lot of work ahead of them.
Oh, yes, they do. They are straight up on the edge of this circle, but they do get a few eliminations in the process. Still 9 teams remaining here. As we take a look at Twisted Minds, possibly trying to get a nade onto Yante. He knows exactly where he is. I think Easy's going to probably hit this eventually, though.
And bear in mind, teams here that have been able to leapfrog ahead of Twisted Minds have had the opportunity to do so at the behest of Twisted Minds because they've had Alamo for so long. Not bad at all, but they need to get rid of these teams that have leapfrogged ahead of them. They should have shot at them as they came in, and I think that probably did occur, but they weren't successful to get rid of them, basically.
That's one of the hardest things here at this stage is you have to decide, do we leave our compound and take these players out as fast as possible? And sometimes you're just so comfortable where you're at, where you just kind of want to survive for a little while longer. And I can't blame them, because if you go too early, you open up the chance of a team third-partying you. So Twisted Minds trying to play this very safe.
Definitely. Stone looking towards Twisted Minds as they're trying to find themselves a little bit of a closer location towards the end of that circle. And the hard shifts continue in this one, Hot Jukes. That is rough for some of those teams in the south.
Oh my gosh, straight goes to the other side, and it's a huge zone shift for Alter Ego, a team that had to really work for it in Sandhawk, finally getting blessed here. Let's see how many eliminations they're going to total up before the end of this.
Yep, same time. Let's take stock of things. He's winding it up, man. He's winding it up. What's he going to hit? As Falcon's driving around near STE, actually. They're going to try and get rid of them and clear their backs even further. They're doing a lot of this clearing their backs tactic, which could work out for them in the long run.
That is something you definitely want to do. You want to make sure that there's nobody ahead of you. Action, very worried about that Molotov. He's going to pop out of his US here. Meanwhile, TQ doing a great job of just applying a ton of suppressive fire.
They need to make this a bit more strong, this kind of push. I don't think they realize fully it's just 2 people. That's the thing. They might have had a little bit of information, but they're kind of cautious as to whether or not there might be other off angles in the distance here for Stalwart. Stalwart is definitely in a weakened state.
Uh-oh. Stoned. Dead eyes on the Falcon. They 1-2-3'd them. They waited. They said 1, 2, 3, pow. Make those shots. Got the knot on the tee. Very nice.
Very nice indeed. Box is also taking some shots at Stalwart from that north side as well here. So all these teams kind of sandwiched between 2 absolute giants as Ravenclaw is going to pepper a few shots into Falcons. Ace is going to go down. Falcons here is getting shredded up because of Vampire eventually pushing over the road.
And not to mention their hesitancy. They could have pushed on Stalwart, but like you mentioned, they could have thought that there was still a full squad there. They hesitated for a little bit, and now that off angle from Vampire is really biting them in the butt.
Yeah, the slow roll over the road whilst Falcons was preoccupied with the north. If Falcons is looking to try and hold this down completely, they probably would have still had to try and go for a 2-2 split, still looking at the road, waiting for a team to come over, because they had very limited options, those teams on the other side of the road.
I'll tell you what, though, this is a massive game for Vampire Esports, as they've already racked up 8 eliminations here, and they are looking strong. They're not laying down, waiting for teams to come to them. They are pushing the action here and taking teams out one by one.
All right, blowing up some of the vehicles now as well, making sure that your opponents can't do it themselves. As Twisted Minds here, still on this edge side. They haven't lost anybody else since Crypto's got himself 3 elims.
Nice. All by his lonesome, too. He's got all the eliminations on the team. And I can think if you see Ravenclaw slowly wrapping around, trying to catch an off angle onto DRS, looking for any intel. I like to see Ravenclaw use that vehicle. Even though he's in the blue zone, eating a lot of damage, he's getting a ton of intel for his squad.
Yeah, it's sneaky to be able to go for that. He's trying his best, because the thing that really does hurt you is the fact that you need intel of who's over the road. Are they trying to move over the road? Because they will appear in a moment's notice, especially if they're blitzing it in vehicles. So you've got to be really on the trigger to be able to deal with them.
100%. That intel could be huge. Maybe you realize that there's a full squad. Maybe you realize there's only one player and you send it. Any intel is good intel. And let's take a look here at where these teams are going to go. Next zone about to pop. And it centers on up. Again, Alter Ego, dead center. in a really good position here. And how many eliminations? They've got 4 eliminations, and I expect to see a lot more from them soon.
Yep, they've been chilling in the center of the circle, man. I mean, it's a deceptively good area to take. You have to expend some smoke sometimes with the lines of sight we're seeing here. You can see them in the distance on the left, but car forts are super important at this point. And for for them in the middle, I mean, it's going to be a case of you need those vehicles to be able to give you a bit of cover.
Yeah, those car forts are huge, but I'll tell you what, that is a very dangerous spot to take. You know?
Yes.
I have a high likeliness feeling that they are going to be surrounded by these squads, and every single team is going to be looking directly at them. They're going to have to make something happen like crazy.
Don't know why I couldn't scrabble together Alter Ego, but they're out getting knocked in the distance as well by Tiamber, who have now pushed on against them. Nades going to rain down on their position here, and Stalwart is now gone. They will go down in 7th.
So here we go. Let's see what Alter Ego could do. Can they defend this position? Beautiful nade there from Octa. Onto Tiamba, over with 1 HP, but he's going to go ahead and throw over a nade right on top of them. Meanwhile, we're going to see Ran with the drive in. He's got the DBS locked and loaded. It is a 2v1 situation, but that smokes.
Ooh.
Oh, it did eliminate those sight lines, but man, Alter Ego, they are on it when it comes to their gun skill.
It was a good fight back, especially since the position they're in is quite nadeable. So, I mean, that could be another opportunity here for someone like Twisted Minds if they have the resources, but I don't think they do. They've already been through a lot of combat here throughout this game, as on the opposite side, Vampire versus Box might be the brewing conflict that was on the way.
Rollkiss, very familiar name. You can see him right there on the edge, looking to make things happen. Ravenclaw, the entire team of Vampires up, and now they're applying pressure on the Box. This team is doing a great job of just eliminating squads on this edge lane. That's 10 eliminations, double digits, the most we've seen so far, and they're not done yet.
Yeah, this feels like All-Stars Vampire right now, especially for that day 1 that we saw for them in the All-Stars. Really good usage of smokes. They've been rolling from fight to fight, so they've been able to steal some utility from their opponents as well. If they deal with Box, they might have this in the bag.
I think so. It's totally possible. I mean, especially with how they're playing. There's something about getting into the action early on. Your reflexes are just that extra quarter second quicker than those teams that have just been waiting for the fight to come to them. Box losing 1 player. Meanwhile, we're seeing a lot of snake play happen, and that is because there is just no cover in this zone.
Yeah,
it is all open field, baby.
It is a very difficult location to play. You can see so much prone gaming going on right now.
Oh, yeah.
Because what are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to do? If you do not have a great vehicle fort, if you don't have some rocks here or there, this dip obviously is fantastic, but you can see how many have tried to crash in, cause some problems here. We're seeing those body boxes down there. I think Twisted Minds doesn't have any nades to be able to kind of punish them in that spot.
Nope, tons of utility being expended just to get here in the first place. So I'm not surprised to see that happen. And Alter Ego, yeah, they do have that dip, but like you mentioned, they had to lose 2 players in the process. It's not one of those circles where you can just stand up and shoot everybody. You have to just survive because everybody is looking towards that center position. You can see Twisted Minds looking in this direction, Box on the other side. Vampire, I wonder if they are going to clean out this right side and focus on Box first rather than center circle.
Okay, so Crypto had 1 nade. He actually was waiting, holding it.
Oh!
No, he was on the other side of the vehicle. Octa saved with a scrap of life there. Double molly. If they get whiff of exactly where they're, but Crypto's creeping up, man.
Crypto is creeping up, and I don't think Alter Ego has an idea where he is. Octa is looking in this direction, but he's also focused on his back because there's so many shots happening here. If Crypto stands up, he's going down immediately. He knows it, so he has to snake it the whole way.
He saw Potato. He did see Potato from his third person, unless he was looking in another direction. But anyway, we've got him now. Big push in here from Vampire.
Here we go. Stone applying the pressure onto Box, looking to finish him out, and they do.
Whoa.
Vampire taking out every single player on the edge. They are on fire right now.
Like that, a click of the finger, and they were gone. That was brutal to look at there. Vampire, what a great push by them. Man, I don't know how the other teams are going to be able to respond to this. DRS, Twisted Minds, Alter Ego, on the opposite side of this, they're going to crunch down on one another, and Vampire's just going to clean up the scraps.
I mean, look at the difference. Every single player is laying down, trying to survive. Meanwhile, Vampire standing up, just applying crazy pressure, saying, we don't need the tall grass. We just need this M4, baby. Tony K forwarding on in. Gante does get knocked, though. Maybe a double knock is tough, but
Maybe
Ravenclaw does pick him up in the meantime, and that is DRS out, so now it is down to a 2v2.
Maybe too bold, though. Who knows? Because losing those 2 players really takes away a lot of your advantage. Gonna try and get Schweppes up here, but they do have some nades in hand. If they're in nade range, this could be deadly here for Vampire. The circle's pushing them. They have to move away from this rock before Alter Ego has to move themselves.
Octa applying the pressure.
He's just holding it. He hold the angle.
Hold the angle. Just keep on that suppressive fire. Let Papa Blue do the work
just hold
for
the
you.
angle.
And this should be an easy dub for Alter Ego.
No
Meanwhile,
way.
yeah, Vampire going out at the end of it. A brilliant performance for them regardless. And honestly, that was one zone where you got blessed that was not easy to win.
No, definitely not. The Tiamba push was scary there for Alter Ego, but they were able to persevere through the oppression that was coming their way in a lot of this. And again, you've got to be really steadfast about holding on to your utility. I keep repeating it, man, but when it comes to a zone like that, and Vampire getting so eager about their advantage that they had, that was the end of them there. Tony K going down on that angle, Vampire was too confident in that one, man.
I think they tried to do a little bit of a heat check situation, right? They were like, hey, you know what? I'm going to stand up. I'm unstoppable. And then Ravenclaw just runs, gets bodied, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, no, we're in big trouble here. And yeah, if they would have played it a little slower, they would have possibly won the game. But you know what? That is Vampire Esports. That's what got them here in the first place. Yep. Guys, a lot more action right ahead of you guys. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back.